What is up guys, it is Simba here and welcome back to a brand new league racing season in SLR. This is season 10 of Summit League Racing, and if you haven't seen the playlist of last season in season 9, I implore you go check out before you see this one. And it is going to be another exciting season of league racing as we show you the calendar for the new season. We're going to start in Australia and we're going to take it all the way to the final race in Brazil, with some races such as Japan and China being some very interesting races that I am excited to show you guys. And in terms of our division, we have finally been given the call up to the McKeown division. You can see the other lineups as well. There are some stacked lineups here. Race Roller Elite Risks at Alpine. You've got Jam and Crowding at Mercedes. It's not the most stacked grid McKeown has ever seen, but I still think it is a very competitive grid, with every single, driver pairing being a very interesting dynamic. So be sure to hit the subscribe button for the new season. I hope you guys are as excited as I am to present this content to you guys. As we cross the line on our medium lap, it is pretty damn meh. It's a 19.0. That is not even going to be anywhere near competitive. But we skip over to our first run on the soft tyres, and this one turned out to be our best lap of the session.
What are they doing here?
See there, we are in the McLaren alongside Shut Metal, but it's the first race of a new season. We want to get off to a good start as we head down into turn 1, 2, and it was quite decent. We left a bit of time on the table there because we just want to get this lap in with just under 8 minutes to go. We don't need any more unnecessary pressure to get that lap in right at the end of the session as we go through turn 4, short shifting to 5th gear for the turning point as we go on the curb there through turn 5, which is something you don't really want to do considering you can take that corner flat out. But despite that, it's a 26.6 in the first sector, a high 0.6, which isn't too bad of a first sector. So my best is a 6 flat in the first sector, so we're about a 10th off what we should be doing. But going through the middle sector now, this fast chicane of turns 9 and 10, we leave quite a bit of time on the table there. We weren't as confident as we should be through those two corners, as Darren isn't happy with his lap in the background, and we are suffering what Yuki Tsunoda would say, traffic paradise through the third sector. We missed the apex there through turn 11, and through turn 12 we're just trying to carry as much speed as possible as there's another car in front of us as we go through the final two corners to complete the lap. We are 1.5 seconds up, but I know this hasn't been the best of laps. As we across the line now, it is P7 with a 17.5, which isn't the best of bankers for me. I mean, I think I could do a 0.3 on a banker lap, but we skipped to the end of the session now. We are improving on this lap, but the problem is, just like last season, we've invalidated on the final run of the session. And we're down in P9 as well, so it's going to be P9 at best. As we cross the line, this lap wasn't any better either, as a 17.4. That is annoying. Just wasn't the one. And you can hear me say there, that wasn't the one. It is P9 on the grid. My best lap in practice was a 17.1, a high 1. So with that lap, we could have been P5. So we've left some time on the table again in qualifying, but P9 is quite decent in our McKeown debut as we get into the race, as we're going to see if we can maximise the wet conditions and see if we can propel ourselves up the order. The strategy is going to be starting on the intermediates, and we're going to go to the dry tyres apparently in around 15 minutes time. So the priority here is surviving in these intermediate conditions. We're ahead of Levy King as well, and he was quite laggy as well. He had a lot of lag. So the main priority for us is to get through turn 1 safely and make sure we do it ahead of the Ferrari, because lag problems are never great. It's part of league racing, but you don't want to be behind a laggy car, because that means you'll have no chance of overtaking them as we nail the grid slot and we're getting ready to start the season. We've waited a while to be in McKeown, and let's see what we can do on debut as we're into 5 red lights in Australia. And the season is underway in the McKeown division for season 10, and it's a decent getaway for us. Levy King bogs down at the start as we go in towards turn 1. We choose the outside line, and Andres has a bit of contact with the Mercedes of Crispy, who is all over the shop. Coming out turn 2. Levy's all over the place. Oh, Crisp! Oh, what? Come on!
I've got damage. I don't know why, but Levy King vibes backwards into my car.
Your rear wing's heavily damaged. Repeat, heavily damaged rear wing.
What happened there?
Mercedes went into me. Crispy went into me.
Oh, I've got damage.
And just like that, race ruined. And yes, there was indeed a lot of contact at turn 2. And we have damaged our front wing, but more importantly, we have damaged our rear wing. And it's orange rear wing damage, and that can't be fixed at all. So we're going to have to do the rest of this race with a damaged rear wing. But somehow the pace was actually okay on the intermediate tyres. As we skip to lap 4 now, we are currently 18th as Evoke Replay pitted for damage. And there's a car in front of us that's gone off. Crowding.
Green flag.
Sam's put it in the wall. There's a...
So the cars in front and behind.
There's a free position. Thanks, Sam. So we've overtaken Sam, and I'm starting to think, you know what, maybe we can get back into this race, but the reality is our pace is way off those guys at the front. So lap 5, we face reality here. Alright, chat, we definitely need a safety car here, chat.
I really want a safety car.
Okay,
Yep, there we go.
Yes!
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go.
In time, and there are so far no
Well, ask and you shall receive. Sem has crashed, and we've been given a safety car on lap 5, and the track is drying out as well. Still alive, chap. We're still alive.
I'm bossing for the medium. There's no way it's ready.
Unlucky start, Simba. Yeah, cheers, Midzu. We were very unlucky at the start. Midzu's in my chat. What a dob. So you can hear me talking to my chap Midzi, a former McKeown champion, was in my chat, so thanks Midzi. But I shouldn't have celebrated this safety car because now the track is drying out, which means that you can see that we slide through turn 1 and you might not think much of it, but that means that the rear wing damage is actually going to come into play here.
Go quicker. What's he doing? 2 seconds, like.
Darren, you're really laggy, mate.
Yeah. Let me try something.
You can try and recharge your batteries. So, after a laggy Darren interrupts me, we can finally get back to business here. So, the rear wing damage we got on the first lap is actually going to come back and bite us here. But also, the track is drying out, so we're going to have to make the switch to the dry tyres. Wait, are you lot pitting for inters or dry or dries?
Okay, I think the track's
They're paying for the hard tyre. I'm not sure about that. But...
Oh, I might as well go for it.
Yeah, there's still a lot of water on the track.
Yeah, but you don't want to be a pit stop behind by the time the safety car comes in.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
So, the next lap, we come back into the pits and we put on a set of hard tyres, but this now is an example of the rear wing damage becoming too much. Oh, no. Oh my god. The rear wing damage. It's coming to bite me now. And there you go. And I also couldn't be bothered editing the safety car restart. So we're going to skip straight to lap 11.
Oh,
and you can see a long way back from the next car. As Evoke Replay has been hit down at turn 2 ahead of us. As we do a 25.2. So the pace is way off. The rear wing damage is basically insufferable. And yeah, there's not much that we're going to get out of this race. We need another safety car realistically. As we skip to lap 14, VRA Andres is right behind us as well. Yeah, here comes Andres. Bloody hell.
Come on.
We are last on track. Andres has got 6 seconds, but he's way... You know, I'm with him right now. This is depressing. And lap 15, you can hear that I am not very happy at all. Ogween is also down the order after having a spin, so it's a really poor start to his title defense. But for us, yeah, they're going to pull away from us because of the damage. And lap 17 rolls around, and we've decided that we've finally had enough, and we are actually going to retire the car. And yeah, a very rare DNF. We did every single race scoring points this last season, and we were looking forward to make our mark in McKeown, but sadly, this one ends in a rare DNF. Oh, man, that is just really annoying. All that practice for nothing. And you can hear the disappointment in my voice. It's very, very disappointing. I was very frustrated after the race as well because I was really looking forward to make a mark here. And the rest of the race was actually pretty chaotic. You can see here Corey spinning out with 7 laps to go. And it really was a race of attrition. But we start the season with a DNF. Corey spins out of contention for the race win despite getting pole position by nearly 3/10 of the next car. And also it looked like at one point we skipped up 27. Race Roller, Turner and Elite Risks all going for the win, and it looked like Alpine were going to get a 1-2, but Elite Risks made a devastating mistake, a terrible mistake from the former Div 1 champion, and he absolutely stacks it, and that is him scoring no points as well, and that really did open the door for everyone else who were down the order at the start of the race. It really was a chaotic race filled with crashes and attrition, and it really opened the door for this man, Sparks YT15, going clean round the outside of Riggsy, who opted for medium tyres to the end of the race. The hard tyres with a better tyre, and Sparks took advantage of that, and he's up into P4. But out in front, it was definitely a chaotic race, and the man who started 6th on the grid is Race Roller, and he is actually going to come through to take a very unlikely race victory here today. He was not one of the favourites to win. He started 6th on the grid, and he wins the Australian Grand Prix just 4/10 ahead of Turner in the end. Ham will complete the podium places with my bro Sparks IT15, Darren, finishing 4th on the road. Medal does well to get points for McLaren. And yeah, a very chaotic start to the season. 10 cars completing the race, with many race favourites dropping out before the halfway point. So Roller wins, Darren gets driver of the day, but he didn't even think that Roller didn't even think that he was going to win a race. And here he is on the top step of the podium. W Turner finishes the race for the first time since Imola last season, and Ham is on the podium. So a very unlikely podium going into this race. And kudos to the top 3 and everyone else that finished the Grand Prix. Quite enjoyable to watch as well. I don't have the championship standings because they haven't been decided yet, because it was quite an incident-filled race. So I'll give them to you in the next race, which is Bahrain. But Roller celebrates with the Alpine team. They're looking like favourites to win the Constructors as well. But Roller picks up 25 points and a perfect start to the season for the Season 7 champion. And yeah, very chaotic. A very chaotic race. 10 cars made the flag. Corey somehow got 2 points out of that race. So fair enough. Merckx went from 19th to 9th in the end. So a lot of recovery drives for the field, and it was one about keeping it clean. And down the order for us, it is a very disappointing start to the season. I'm not going to sit here and say we could have finished in the points or we could have been on the podium, because the crash happened after turn 2. That would just be filled with BS if I tried to tell you that in this video. So for us, there is a lot of work to do. We are already on the back foot as it is, and we're going to try our best to come back in Bahrain. But this one is a missed opportunity. I think there was a lot of potential here, and it goes to waste at round 1. But we're going to try our best to get off the mark in Bahrain. So that is going to be in today's video. Subscribe to the channel for more league racing content. We'll see what happens in Bahrain. So until then, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.